such an inspiration to hear from Mohit that he was 95 kgs of weight, and from there he started he started running and swimming and everything, so those of you who are thinking that it is not for you, जो लोग आप समझ रहे हैं कि आपके ये थोड़ा मुश्किल काम है, तो फॉर उन लोगों के लिए बोलता हूँ कि देखिए ये एक इंस्पिरेशन है, आप इनको देख के आप भी ऐसा ड्रीम देख सकते हैं। সো ওয়েলকাম শ্যামদা। শ্যামদা আমাদের মধ্যে এসছে যতক্ষণ মোহিত শেয়ারস করছে স্ক্রিন, যতক্ষণ আমরা শ্যামদার ইন্ট্রোডাকশনটা করে নিই। ওয়েলকাম শ্যামদা। গুড ইভিনিং। গুড ইভিনিং।
থ্যাংক ইউ।
is it okay if you can share something about you, an introduction?
বাংলায় বলছি, মানে অডিয়েন্স ওরা মোস্টলি, হ্যাঁ অডিয়েন্স মোস্টলি বাঙালি। আমি ছবি টবি যেরকম সবাই তোলে টোলে সেরকম তুলতাম। About 5-6 years back I have done my scuba diving training from Andaman. তোমার অ্যাডভান্স আর বেসিক আমি একসাথেই করেছিলাম। তোমার হ্যাভলকের নাম শুনেছো নিশ্চয়ই, হ্যাভলক আইল্যান্ড থেকে ওখানে। এবার তারপরে একবার করার পরে যেটা হয় কি, নেশা ধরে গেছিল আর কি, এত সুন্দর জার্নি। তারপর একটু ওটা নিয়ে পড়াশুনো করতে করতে আমরা দেখেছি যে সত্যি কথা বলতে কি, স্কুবা ডাইভিংটা এমন একটা জিনিস যেটাতে অনেক কিছু বেনিফিট আছে, অনেক কিছু রয়েছে, এবং ইউ ক্যান গ্রো ওভার ইট। আরো প্রচুর কিছু এর সাথে তুমি অ্যাড করতে পারো, এর থেকে ব্রাঞ্চ আউট করতে পারো। তো তারপর ধীরে ধীরে ছবি তোলা শুরু করেছি সেটা নিয়ে। সেই ছবিগুলো কোথাও কোথাও পাবলিশ হয়েছে, কিছু মানুষ হাততালি টাততালি দিয়েছে, কিছু লোক প্রাইজ দিয়েছে, এরকম ভাবে চলছে বেসিক্যালি। তো দ্যাটস ইট। আমি এমনিতে বাই প্রফেশন চার্টার অ্যাকাউন্টেন্ট, আর এর আগে আমি ক্লাইম্বার সার্কেলের মেম্বার ছিলাম বহুদিন। আমি বোধহয় 1986 থেকে ট্রেক করি আর কি। এই প্রাণেশ দা, নায়ক দা, এনারা সব মানে সবার আমাদের কি বলবো আইকন আর কি। হ্যাঁ, মাস্টার মশাই আইকন যাই বলো, তাদের থেকে মানে আমরা ইনফ্লুয়েন্সড হয়েছি এবং পাহাড়ে টাহাড়ে গেছি। ফর অ্যাডভেঞ্চার স্পোর্টস এর ব্যাপারটা ছিল, এবং স্কুবা ডাইভিং জাস্ট হ্যাপেন্ড আফটারওয়ার্ডস এন্ড আই জাস্ট ফেল ইন লাভ উইথ ইট। এবং যেটা মজা লাগছে যে अच्छा কেউ হিন্দিতেও কথা বলতে বলছেন। तो ऐसा है कि देखिए, मतलब कोई चीज देख के आपको आपका एडवेंचर स्पोर्ट्स जो है आपका खून में है। आप ट्रेक किए हो, आप हिमालय का अंदर में गए हो, तो बाद में क्या होता है कि आप और कुछ किए हो और वो आपको मतलब और पैशनेट कर दिए उसके ऊपर। So since I was a photographer, the photography happened afterwards. You are so close to the nature, you can feel like it. So this just happened like this. I have taken some photographs, and I could tell the stories of underwater world, and those were published somewhere. Those were appreciated, got some photo awards, etc. But those are not the many things I want to discuss. Yes. Shoturu, are you there?
Yeah, that was a great intro, and I think this was new for me that you had trekked with such passion before. So let me take you through some of the pictures that Shyamda has taken. Shyamda, you have the picture, or do you want me to share?
You share. I'll just tell the stories once it comes to the screen. I will tell the story.
Okay. Just a minute. Yes. So this is one picture, Shyamda. I guess this is you, or
this is my friend. Actually, I love to be behind the lens always. I don't like my photograph. So this is a friend of mine. He was my guide. This is the Thailand part of Andaman, and you will see lots of boulders are there, beautiful boulders, and covered with beautiful algae and everything. And this photograph is I love these photographs because of the sun rays, and there is a direction in the photograph. The person is navigating it. The posture, the scuba diver's posture is perfect. he's breathing, so some bubbles are coming out. So it's a complete picture for me. So I love this picture, and you'll find it a very interesting thing. The hands are folded towards his chest.
Right.
So in the underwater, you are always very close to whatever things around. It's a living creature, be it coral, be it anoman, be it feather star, be it a fish. So only thing you can move around is your fin for swimming. You just can't throw your hands around, and thereby you can hurt others, other living creatures, as well as you can hurt yourself. So this is a perfect picture for me. So I like to always use this as an introduction for any presentation. So you can change it.
Right. Let me change it to the next one. Oops. Which one?
This is another photograph in Similan Island only, in Andaman part of Thailand, Andaman Sea, Thailand part. Actually, Andaman Sea is very dynamic kind of sea. You can see there are lots of stories can be built upon Andaman Sea. It has touched the shores of 7 countries. Always, whenever we think about Andaman, we think about its Indian part of Andaman. But the Andaman Islands are closer to Thailand, closer to Burma than it is towards India. But that's a controversial statement. But Andaman is it's a beautiful sea, and in Havelock Island there are lots of corals. In Similan Island there are lots of lives around. There are lots of boulders, beautiful passing through. This is a swim through and some cracks there. There are my friend is just posing for me. He's by the way, he's from Spain, and he was inquiring about Katrina Kaif. So whether I have seen her or not, because I'm from India and Katrina Kaif is also from India. So whether I've seen her or not, and he must have seen that famous movie Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara.
So Shamodha, after seeing this picture, I feel this strange desire that I also want to be a model here. So will you take me there?
See, that I can say anybody can dive. At least everybody should try it once in his life. Because 72 hours is a blue planet. 72% of the entire world is covered with water. I think everybody's understanding. I'm using English as language because some of them are asking for to be, speaking in Hindi, some in Bengali. So it's better to speak in English.
Right.
So ours is a blue planet, as I was telling, and 71% of that blue water is salt water and 1% is sweet water. So ocean is part of our life. Every second breath we are taking is coming from ocean. Every environmental change is from ocean. So since it is there and it is not part of some movies like BBC Earth or Nat Geo, it is very much yours and our story. So I would definitely like to ask everybody to try scuba diving once every year, once in his life. And if you don't know swimming, if you are from a rural background, you cannot say you don't know swimming. So knowing swimming is a must. But if you are not if you do not know swimming presently, you can always learn it. There's very easy way. There are lots of swimming pools around in every towns, every cities nowadays. There are amazing instructors around. So learning swimming is very easy. It's a matter of 1 or 2 months of your entire life, entire adult or young life. So you just learn swimming. If you do not have major element, you can always learn scuba.
So, but when I went for doing some snorkeling and scuba diving in the Netrani Islands in southern part of India, they said that swimming is not mandatory. Is it so? Like, is it not mandatory, or does it give an extra advantage?
There are lots of schools like PADI, SSI, NUI. So previously, knowing swimming was not compulsory, but for the last 2 years, there are some incidences that has happened.
Okay.
So they make it mandatory for knowing the swimming. But as I told you, that you cannot use your hand basically. So what swimming will give you? Swimming will give you the training to control your breath, to not get excited too much, to be stay calm whenever there is a stress situation, whenever the sea is not very calm. So swimming will help you to for any other thing along with your scuba. So knowing swimming has become compulsory. But if you are going somewhere and if you want to try, you can always do discover scuba. And for doing discover scuba, swimming knowledge of swimming is not necessary, because there will be one instructor for every 2 divers there, and he will hold your gear.
Got it. Did I lose you, Shamoda? Okay, so we will come back to Shamoda again. So can we have Mohit once again back in the show?
Hello.
Oh, Shamoda, you are there.
Yes.
We were not able to see you that time. So,
okay, no issue. Thing is that yes, so knowledge of swimming is necessary. But and if you do not have any other ailment, and nowadays basically, and if you do not have any other ailment, like you do not have any severe fracture, you are not very severely diabetic or something like that, you can always do scuba diving.
All right, so we'll go to the next picture quickly. Wow.
Yes, this is a cave dive basically. This is a cave dive, and one of the diver, he is just checking out inside if we are entering the cave, will it be safe for us as well as the creatures there are inside.
So what can be the creatures that are dangerous?
And there lots of lots of red fishes. Those are anthias. Those are being seen, and the small those are common in coral islands, coral reefs, and the small reddish and bluish, this small creatures, they are also juvenile fishes. So maybe this is just after the spawning season, so there are lots of baby fishes around. It's very beautiful to see. Whenever there is a wave, it's like a cloud, they will move around in front of you. So beautiful.
And you said that they went to check whether it is safe to go inside. What are the things that you think can come in the way? It can be dangerous, or what are you checking there?
There are lots of myths. After we have seen Jaws, shark is dangerous, and yes, and there is something called killer whale. So barracuda always charges, triggerfish always bites, and so there are so many myths, and stingray always stings. But trust me, one thing, the entire, like their land counterparts, all creatures are logical. In under the sea, you should not be afraid of anything else other than your own mind control, own buoyancy control, own oxygen control. You should not bother any of the living creature. You should maintain distance. You should respect their spaces. Whether you are you will be able to see them or not, whether you'll be able to take a picture or not, that doesn't matter. But you cannot touch them. You cannot disturb them, because they are very logical creature. When they will bite you, if they are afraid or they are hunting. Human beings are not in the food chain of any of the marine animals, so they do not attack human being. As simple as that. So there is nothing to be afraid of. Only you should be afraid of yourself, whether you are going to grab something, you are going to hurt somebody, or you are going to flip over something, you are going to break the coral, which happens a lot.
So we have a
you
question
should be
here.
afraid of yourself.
Right. We have a question: is scuba diving expensive activity?
See, if you are comparing it with a trip to Sandakphu or to any parts of Himalaya, it's expensive. But if you are thinking of investing in something, a course, taking up a diploma, learning a new skill, 20 and which the getting a license, which will be there for you for the entire life, then it is not expensive. 25,000 to 30,000 rupees for a basic, license. Learning spending 4 days of your life and learning a new skill, I'll say it's nothing. And there are lots and lots of career options. You can branch out to different versions of oceanology. It might be marine biology, geology, physical oceanology, chemical oceanology. You can be a rescue diver, you can be a commercial diver, you can be anything. And especially the people, the kids who are in school, who are in college, who are the science students, they can take up this sports. Our coastline in Indian coastline is 7,500 kilometer. It's huge, one of the largest in the entire world, and there is no complete survey has been done yet, so you can understand the career opportunities. So
Wow.
if you are thinking of all these things, I'll say scuba diving is not costly, rather it's very reasonable.
Okay, so good. So we'll go to the next slide. Wow, this is altogether a different world under the sea. So colorful.
Yes, this is my favorite photograph actually, and almost every time I show it to people and make them bored. This place is called Johnny's Gorge, and this is a beautiful coral reef. There is hard coral, there is soft coral, there is feather star, and there is drum coral behind, and some scuba divers are enjoying. Fish lives are there. The scuba divers are enjoying. The second man who is following is photographing also, but all keeping in a distance. It's perfect, and some sunlight is coming from above. They are breathing. They are in perfect buoyancy. This is a place called Johnny's Gorge. It's a little far off. You need to take a boat ride from Havelock Island, and it's beautiful. In between, for last 3 years, it was closed, but it recently opened up. So it's comparable with one of the best in the world. Trust me.
Right. We have one question from Arindam Saha. He said that can we get the license in Kolkata? Can we get a license in Kolkata? So yeah, Arindam, had there was no COVID, yes, we could have arranged one for you, Shamoda, and I discussed a lot about it. So I leave it to Shamoda. Shamoda, do you see?
I think you are the best person. You are the best person to answer. We are already thinking various options, even post COVID also, because there will be lots of restrictions. It will be in the not exactly in the planning stage, but maybe a little more also. So definitely, we'll be doing something very soon.
Okay.
And you can contact us. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, you can contact us, and we can if somebody wants to go deep into this, definitely Shamoda can help you out on that. We'll come to the next picture. Wow, what is that?
So this is a myth breaker, I can tell you. This
picture is this.
This is whale shark, the largest fish in the world. Basically, this gentleman is 30 feet, and I found him in Visayansi in Philippines. And this photographs, one of my friend is diving there, and I have taken this. I'm using this photograph to show how the diver has been dwarfed basically by the mighty size of the whale shark. It's a gentle giant, and if you are telling me this diver is so close, is the shark is not going to harm it? Thing is that whale shark till date never harmed a person, because we are not in the food chain of whale shark. But there are
Right.
many instances, people, since they are gentle giant, they are harmless, they love to be around, they are in the shallow waters. Many a times, people actually touch them, cause
Mm.
damage to them. Huh? So this is
Right.
a sanctuary. This is a marine sanctuary area, and
Right.
we could use
Right.
flashlight because the flashlight can cause harm to the mm, whale sharks.
Right.
So this is a myth breaker, basically, so, to show that sharks are not harmless.
Right, right, right. So, admin, can you please remove that comment for time being, because there is I think it is guarding something. Yes. So I can see the diver there below it. So are you sure that it will not go, and because how does it know that you are not a food? Because the size is like that, like, you can just accidentally, if it swallows you, you are gone, right?
Honestly, I told you the animal world is very much logical, unlike human being. For no reason, humans cause harm to others. We feel jealous, but there is nothing called any kind of accidentally a whale shark never attacked a human being. And
Right.
also amongst the sharks, there are various kinds of sharks. Some of them are predators, some of them are scavengers, and I'm just sharing one statistic. Statistics usually a little boring, but we kill nearly 100 million sharks every year. And it's not a matter of pride, but in India stood in second in shark culling in the entire world, just after Indonesia. But how many shark related accidents happen in the entire world? Less than 10 every year. And that is also because the sharks accidentally bites. If you are moving around it, they just come to check it actually. So there is nothing, no story is there. If you compare 100 million with a 10, who is more dangerous?
Right.
So
But then why are these sharks killed? Is it killed for their shark fin soup? Is it exported from India, or how is it?
yes, some of our neighboring countries, they prefer shark fin soup. It gives some youth, some value or something, but trust me, shark fin soup is tasteless. You always need to add some salt, etc., to make it tasty. But still, what happens, people catch a shark, they cut off the fins and then let it die. They let it go and they let it die. So it's a very painful death. A king in the ocean, they cannot move around and they finally die, because they cannot move around, they cannot eat. So
It's
who is
horrible.
more dangerous? And it's a meaningless killing. It's a meaningless. For a tasteless something which has no value, which has no food value, nothing, sharks are getting killed. And if you just look closely into the picture, you will see small, small dots around.
Yes.
These are actually zooplanktons, micro, small streams and other things. And they are actually the food of this huge animal. They make a huge gulp and take whatever is there in front of you know, in front of them, and swallow it, and then take out the water from there, and
Wow.
whatever remains inside is their food. So those are the food of this mighty giant, not the human being. So it's pretty safe to dive
Awesome.
with them.
Awesome.
Beautiful, beautiful animal. Beautiful animal.
So we are coming to a zoomed picture. So this is the actual picture.
Yes.
So I'm just taking. Okay, first let's describe this, and then I'll zoom it because I have a question for that.
Okay. This is corals are animals basically, and being covered under a Zoological Survey of India. Not uh, it's not plant basically. They are small cells, and they form together similar looking, and they form a colony, and they host small algae and the color of those inside them, so collectively those algae are called zooxanthellae. So the color of those algae is actually giving color to the corals. And whenever there is a change in the ocean temperature, some problem, there is lack of nutrition or some other kinds, so then these corals, they expel the zooxanthellae and become colorless, and we call it that the temperature gone above, and there is the coral died and something like that. So this place is called Deep Six. This is a very famous dive site, and I have taken this photograph, and I kept the diver behind it to show what a healthy coral reef can look like. It's a huge fan corals. And since it's a marine sanctuary, the trawling, etc., those are not being allowed, and they get to grow in this size actually. And you can see various colors. Some are red, some are different, a little bluish, beautiful.
So this looks like the veins and capillaries, right? It's like
It looks like trees. Yes. I'm not a marine biologist, so I can't go much deeper into the subject. And,
yeah, but this is awesome.
Yes. Tell me.
No, I'm like, what we are seeing right now, I know that this is the tip of the iceberg, and compared to whatever you have, and I have seen personally, like, what you have, but this, the scope of this particular webinar, or I would say the particular Facebook Live, is just to give a glimpse of what is out there. When we're talking about adventure, adventure can be in any field, be it air, water, land, sea, and that's what today we just brought in few of these people, and to show that what are the opportunities that we have apart from mountaineering. Trekking, yes, they are already there, and that has been historically Bengal has been a pioneer in going for mountaineering and trekking, but there's a whole new world under the ocean, and I think it's time that we should explore this, and these are not at all too much expensive. Definitely. And Shamoda will definitely come back to you, Shamoda. We will please be in the backstage for some time, and thanks for sharing this, and we'll come with you with a lot more questions. Can we have Mohit back in the screen?
Dada, Mohit, you not? Yeah, he has come.
Yes. Hi, Mohit.
Hi, thanks. So I think now I'm able to share my screen, right?
Yes, give it a try. Otherwise, I have the presentation. I can also share, whichever works for you.
Yeah. So can you confirm me if you can see?
Admin, if you can show the screen, if you're able to. Else, I'll share the PPT.
So, I think you should share it, because I'm not able to see Mr. Mohit's screen in my screen.
Okay.
You can share it.
Fine, Mohit, then just guide me when to change the slide, and I will change the slide. Okay.
Sure.
Yes. I think we'll be able to see right now. Yes. Wow. Anything is possible, Mohit.
Yeah. So the tagline of basically the Ironman is anything is possible. So if you go to the next page, so basically, what is Ironman actually? So Ironman is basically a triathlon event. So in which you have to swim 4 kilometers in the open water, in the lake or in the sea or in the river. Then you have to do 180 kilometers of cycling, and then you have to run a full marathon of 42.2 kilometers, and you have to finish all this in basically 15 to 17 hours. So this is what we have Ironman. And I think so far in India, I think approximately 350 people have done Ironman across the world in different years and different cities. So
wow,
maybe
this is
can go
awesome.
back.
4 kilometers. 4
kilometers.
Wow,
Yeah.
man. Wow. And just after the swim, no rest. You just have to go for the cycling 180 kilometers.
Yeah.
180
180
and
kilometers. Normally,
42.2.
normally it is 180, 185 kilometer. They mentioned it 180 kilometer.
This is inhuman.
No, I
Okay.
think so. That's why the name is the name of this presentation is anything is possible, right? So let me tell you a little past about myself, right? So in
Yes.
2009, basically, what happened? I lost my father because of cancer. Then I became very depressed, and it happens in such kind of states when you are in such kind of states. You start eating too much, right? So I started eating too much. There was no physical activity for me. I started with the breathlessness. I was having pain in my chest. I used to feel short breath, and I used to be like this guy on the picture on the right side in 2014, right? So I was almost like this. So let's go to the next screen. And then there came the moment of realization in 2015 when I was standing in queue for a ride in an amusement park. When a security guard came and he asked me to check my weight because there was a weight limit for that ride, right? And when I was checked, I was 15 kg over the maximum limit. And out of those queue, only I was the person who was asked to check my weight, and it was really very embarrassing for me. Then I decided that yes, I have to change now myself, and then it started my journey. So now let's go
Wow.
to the next screen. Yeah, so I had no knowledge. What should I do? And running was the easiest thing that I could do. So, and my office used to sponsor us for the 8.5 Delhi Marathon. Then I thought it is free event for me because my office is sponsoring. So why not try for the running? So I registered myself for half marathon because when there is a target, right, you are buying to that. You're motivated to do that thing, right? So I set a target for me. Started running on treadmill. Then Normally it happens that when we are carrying so much weight around us, then we thought then we are shy to go into the gym, right? We think what people will think about us. I thought it's my life, it's one life. Let them laugh, let them say what they have to do. I was determined, and I started losing weight. I started on treadmill. 4 months I did a lot of hard work. Then I participated in my first half marathon. I was able to finish that in 2 hours and 29 minutes. But I was still carrying a lot of weight around. Yeah.
So this was which year? Like, which year did you do the first
This
marathon?
was
First half
uh,
marathon.
this was uh, this was 2015 November.
2015 November.
2015 November. Yeah.
Okay. And 2014 you started preparing for this.
On in 15 itself. July 15. Yeah, June 2015 I started, and this event was in November 2015.
My God. So in 6 months, just 6 months preparation, and you said that it's just 500 meters that you could do on the first day.
Yeah, on the first day, right? So
And
the thing is, if
yeah.
yeah,
Uh,
the thing is, if we are regular, right, and if we stick to anything, right, so anything is possible. So
wow.
I did not miss any single day. 5 kilometer morning, 5 kilometer in the evening. Started on treadmill, then I started coming on roads also. So it is possible, right? So this is the
Wow.
thing which I have realized.
Wow.
So anyone who is
Wow.
listening to this, I believe that you can do that.
Right.
Then I think
Is this
one
a
of the best
Howrah
thing
Bridge?
is,
Is this a Howrah
yeah.
Bridge? Oh wow.
This is not a Howrah Bridge. This is actually the second picture is basically from the Mumbai Marathon. This is the Sea Link in the Mumbai.
Oh, ceiling. Okay, 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 okay.
So
Okay.
this is my full marathon picture from Tata Mumbai Marathon.
Uh-huh.
So the route goes via the Sea Link bridge.
Oh, okay, 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 okay.
So the important thing which I want to mention in this slide is that if you want to start running, right, then I'll advise that you join running group, right, because it is always beneficial when you do all these things in group, right, because you get to know about a lot of things.
Right. Uh,
দাদা বলো।
আমি কি ফ্রিজ হয়ে গেছি?
হ্যাঁ, না না না, আপনার তো শুনতে পাচ্ছি, দুজনেরই কথা শুনতে পাচ্ছি।
ও আচ্ছা আচ্ছা আচ্ছা,
বলে আমি আপনাকে কল করবো যদি কোনো রকম হয়।
ঠিক আছে ঠিক আছে। Okay, somehow I'm not able to hear.
দাদা শোনা যাচ্ছে আপনাকে, ইউ আর অডিবল, নো ইস্যু।
But Mohit, I am not able to hear him. That's what. Okay, so
I think Mohit sir is freezed. I mean, he has some problem.
Rajesh, can you hear me?
I can hear you, but Mohit is not here.
Okay, all right. So if we have Tapasda here, if you can bring Tapas. So Tapasda is from the Sea Explorers, and yeah, while Mohit comes back, we will have a quick introduction of Tapasda. Tapasda is the recipient of Tenzing Norgay Adventure Award, which is the highest award in adventure sports, and it is given by the President of India, and it is equivalent to the Arjun Award of sports. So Tapasda, and he's a gym, and while Tapasda is still joining, I can't see him. I can show some pictures of Tapasda. One second. Okay, Tapasda is into totally water sports. Are you able to see my screen? Not yet, no? Yes. So this is Tapasda, and right next to the Ganges in Kolkata, we have the Sea Explorers Club, and I have been there personally, and I tried my hands in the kayaking, and it's awesome. Yeah, Tapasda, we cannot see, but Tapasda, your camera, please check your camera. Okay, and
We lost
So
Tapasda. So we lost Tapasda.
oh, okay.
He needs to come again.
Is Mohit back?
No, Mohit is not back. Samyada is there.
Okay. So let me quickly go through the pictures that he had sent me, in case Tapasda is not able to join. And so I have been interacting with Tapasda for the last few weeks, and I'm learning some skills on navigation in the sea, as well as sailing, and what does it take. And trust me, it looks so simple that we are just oaring, just rowing and going in the boat, but there are so many things to learn, and a lot of fitness is required, and a lot of awareness is required about the tides, about the sea, about the river, and about the the dangers, a lot of equipments. And this is a typical kayak that you can see. It's a one-man kayak, and when I tried kayaking in the sea, which is with a fiber one, it was pretty easy to kayak. But when I tried in Ganges, I had to literally, try to keep my balance okay. And with me was Malaida also, and 2-3 times we both turned back, we both toppled into the Ganges. And since we were not in the depth, and Tapasda was actually was keeping a vigilant eye on us, so no big accident happened. But from that time itself, I got this strange desire that I have to understand this particular adventure sport. I want to learn the skills of it, because inherently I don't accept failure. I think that it's not, falling is not failure. And I just wanted to get that skill. And Tapasda had done rafting in different places, and one such places, he said that he never thought he will come back alive, because he took a route which was more dangerous. But we'll see if Tapasda can join back. He can explain more. But just in case if he cannot, but yeah. And I had done some rafting long back in Sikkim, but it's altogether a different experience when you do a rafting. Yeah, Tapasda, I think he is trying to join. Maybe the internet connection is a little slow. And yeah, this is the Sea Explorers Institute, and lot to learn, lot of life skills to learn, and this is just a glimpse of what it is. And this is, you will learn geography, you will learn the marine life, you will learn the tidal things, and like lots to learn from all these. And yes, this was when Tapas Chaudhary, he received the Tenzing Norgay Adventure Award in 2006 from the then president Pratibha Patil. And so this is a matter of pride for all of us. And he helps to prepare seamen. He helped to do some rescue operations, and he teaches a lot of corporates and as well as school children to learn this particular skill. And if anyone is interested, just let us know, and we will arrange an introduction session for this kayaking and rafting and any of the water sports. Just let us know. And is there a limited age to learn about kayaking? No, absolutely no. But yes, you have to be very vigilant about where you are going. And I had no idea that it can be so deep a place. Now, Tapasda শুনতে পাচ্ছো?
I think there is some connectivity issue with Tapasda. He's not. I mean, I
Hello.
can add him, but
শুনতে
I have
পাচ্ছি। তাপসদা বলো। ও আচ্ছা, ইটস গন। তাপসদা দরকার হলে ভিডিওটা অফ করে অডিওটাতে খালি থাকতে পারো। So that's Tapasda for all of us, and we'll just see for 5 minutes if Tapasda can join. Till then, we'll have some questions. Is there any questions coming up? And also, is Mohit back?
কিছু কোশ্চেন গুলো আছে, আমি কি কোশ্চেন গুলো রিড আউট করবো? কেন কি উপরে চলে গেছে, আমি কোশ্চেন গুলো ক্লিক করে রেখেছি। একটা অভিষেক সিন্ধু জিজ্ঞেস করেছে, হোয়াট ইজ দ্য স্কোপ অফ প্রফেশনালস সাচ এজ ট্রেক লিডার, scuba diver, mountaineer, etc. Certainly it won't earn you a lot of money, but it's enough to sustain you in a efficient way.
There is no limit. Actually, there is no limit of what you can earn. It depends on your innovation, your business acumen, right? So if you start your own business, and that's what our prime minister told few days back, that we have to be Atmanirbhar, which is like self-sufficient. Rather than taking a job into some company, why don't you learn this? And when you will go to that level is when you have the passion for this, right? The passion comes from the exposure and from the joy of it. So learn it. When you learn it, and when you actually experience it, and when you feel pretty motivated about the whole thing, and you feel a good experience about the whole thing, you will go deeper and deeper. And once you go deeper, you will find your way out. So how it starts is some of your friends might get inspired, and they say that can they join with you? So slowly you can take them along with you. Then after that, if you see that it is coming in a good way, then you can start your own small organization or in a club. And there are a lot of opportunities. Only you need to be skilled at it, and people should come to you for that. Okay, তাপসদা তোমার যদি ভিডিওতে প্রবলেম থাকে, খালি অডিওতে জয়েন করতে পারে ভিডিওটাকে অফ করে।
একটা
আর
আর
মোহিত এলে
কোশ্চেন
পরে
আছে
আচ্ছা হ্যাঁ
একটা আর কোশ্চেন আছে রোহিতের আছে, ইজ দেয়ার ডিফারেন্স বিটুইন স্নরকেলিং এন্ড স্কুবা ডাইভিং, and
right
as you mentioned severe diabetic people should not take snorkeling, can someone
okay
with moderate diabetic go for snorkeling?
okay so that question will park for Samoda. That question we will take. I think Mohit is already, he said that he can hear us. Can you add him?
আছেন,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. We'll quickly go to Mohit and then we'll come back to these questions.
Thanks, Satya.
Hi, Mohit. Sorry, I
Hi.
think there was a.
Yeah, there was a glitch actually at my end.
glitch.
Sorry.
No problems. We know that we are in this situation now where networks and everything is unstable.
Right.
But here goes your slide.
Yeah. So we can go to the slide number 5.
Yes. The admin, please add this particular slide. Screen sharing. Now, admin, যদি একটুখানি অ্যাড করে দেন, ওই স্ক্রিনটাকে শেয়ার করে দেন। Okay, so while the admin does that, Nobi, can you hear us?
So basically, so till the time till the slides are shared, so I was telling that I had no idea of workouts equipment.
আমি মোহিত স্যারের স্লাইডটা পাচ্ছি না, মানে অন্য স্ক্রিনটা
না
পাচ্ছি না।
আমি স্ক্রিন শেয়ার করেছি, আমার স্ক্রিনটা।
ওকে হ্যাঁ আপনারটা।
Yeah, is this the slide you are talking about, Mohit?
The previous one.
Okay, this one.
Yeah. So I was telling that I had no idea of workouts, equipment, gadgets, actually, and for me the running was the easiest thing which I could do, right? And my office used to sponsor participants in Airtel Half Delhi Marathon. It was a free event for me, so I kept a target for myself, right? Then I did not care what other people in gym would think about me. It normally happened that when we are not fit and carrying so much weight, then we sometimes avoid going to gym, etc., and we are afraid of what other people will think about us, right? Then I thought, it is my life and it's only one life. Why should I care about what other will think? Let them laugh. So I started very slowly and kept increasing my distance. So morning and evening I was regular, started losing weight too. Then there's a quotation from Steve Jobs which helped me, that it says that you're already naked, there is no reason to follow your heart, right? And that time I did not know anything about running. It was just a raw practice of 5-7 kilometers, but I was regular, and so I had a motivation to complete my first half marathon and cross the finish line, right? Then the race day came. On the race day I was not nervous because I had nothing to lose, everything to gain. Then there were thousands of runners around me, some were equipped with gadgets. I was seeing those gadgets first time. I ran and it was a difficult first run, but I could manage to finish it in 2 hours and 29 minutes. And after that, then my running started and I fell in love with running. So we can go to the next slide now.
Yeah.
So after that, I joined some running clubs actually. So the Sunday Run Club is the name of club which I'm still go to. And for those who want to start running and do good in running, I will advise them to join some running group, and it has a lot of advantages. So in running group, you get to know a lot of things. You will get to know about gadgets, shoes, accessories. You will get to know about the nutrition, good diet, and what kind of exercise you should do. And you will get to know about different events in which you can participate. And the most important thing about running in a group or with your friends is you will always do better in group than you do in running alone. And after that, I started running regularly. I participated almost in every good event, and eventually I promoted myself to running full marathon, which is 42.2 kilometers, and running the ultras and trail runs. And I did face a lot of injuries also, but with good guidance I was able to recover from them. And each injury actually teaches you something and makes you a better athlete and a better person every time. So and for me, running is a kind of meditation now. It's a cleanse your mind and body. It keeps your heart and lungs fit and fine, whole body fit and fine basically. So so these are few pics you can see, and this is my transformation from left to right, you can see. So maybe we can go to the next screen now. And after that I started cycling actually. So my manager actually used to come to office by bicycle. I got inspired by my manager and bought one for me too. I used to cycle in school time, but I never did after that. I did not face any stamina issue because I was already running. So promoting myself to cycling was a smooth experience for me. And I started enjoying it. Like in running, in cycling also, I kept increasing my distance. And then soon I bought a second bicycle, this road bike basically, and I kept increasing my distance. And then I was introduced to the concept of Breve. Breve is basically self-supported long distance cycling in which you cover long distance like 200, 300, 400 kilometers in one go. And there are control point, checkpoints, and marshalling on the way. So this concept of Breve basically started in France, and now it is in every country. In Breve, so Brave is one of the things you will always remember in your life. So just imagine you are cycling 400 kilometers on your own, and you learn a lot of things about yourself, your capabilities, and during that time, you are your best friend actually. So you have to complete that distance. So there is no support from your any other one. So you have to complete by yourself. And for those who have left cycling, and for those who are yet to start, I will say don't wait anymore. It is one of the best experience which you have been missing till now. So just go and buy a bike and start doing the bicycling.
So one question here: did your running helped in cycling?
Yes. So running actually, basically, if you're running, running makes your lungs and heart strong, right? And from running to cycling, so basically running helps cycling and cycling helps running. So it's a vice versa. So if someone is running, it is always it will be always a smooth transitioning to move to cycling, and if someone is cycling, it will be easy for him to move to running. It helps, both helps each other actually.
Right. And exactly, this is my question also. Arindam asked, which area did you practice this long distance cycling? Like if I had to do 300 kilometers, it's like a huge, right?
So basically, I live in Noida, and the expressway is very near to my home. It is only 500 meters from my home. So I start early in the morning, 4 a.m. in the morning. I do one loop of expressway, which is 60 kilometers. Then we go to Ghaziabad. So Ghaziabad is another 60 kilometers. So 60 plus 60 is 30. 60 is 120, and then I do another loop of 30 kilometers locally. So that sometime it gives me 150 kilometers actually. And for 30 kilometers and for 300 kilometers, for 300 kilometers it is a Breve actually. So 300 kilometers we don't do locally. We go to from Delhi to Sonipat, and then Sonipat, Panipat, and we come back then. So 150 up and 150 down. So that makes 300 kilometers.
That is awesome. I mean, like, hats off, man. Like, and may I ask, how long did it take for you to finish 200 kilometers? Like, how many hours?
It took me 8 hours to finish 200 kilometers cycling.
Wow. So I see Praveen is hearing. So Praveen, I think you and I should go for a long distance cycling. Maybe we can start with 50 kilometers, and then slowly we can increase to 200 kilometers.
always start with a small distance and kept increasing 10-20% every time. But the diet is another thing which you have to take care of. But diet is very important. Right. If you're not taking good diet, then it is difficult then.
Right. Awesome. So we'll just go to the next slide. Ooh, swimming.
Yeah. So after running and cycling, it was a time of swimming actually. So basically, as I told, I was part of one of we had a group actually, and another benefit of being a part of motivated group is you sometimes do those things which you are always afraid of doing it. So my friends were going to join swimming classes, so I also tagged myself along with them, and the swimming got started. So, and if I was learning swimming alone, then I would have left it much earlier. But as I said, we were a four friends. We were a group of 4 friends, so all of us kept each other motivated. So, and when you see that your friend is going to swimming 5 a.m. in the morning, then you will also go, even if you didn't want to go. So this is another benefit of a part of a group. So we submitted ourselves totally to our coaches. We told to our coach that make us a good swimmer in 1 year, and we are ready to do anything, any exercise, any drill you will ask us to do. And then our training got started. It was really a tough training, and luckily we got some good coaches. One of my coach is actually Guinness record holder for longest open water swimming, Mr. Narhari sir. So, and another one was gold medalist in 10 kilometer swimming. So we underwent a lot of hard work, and little more than a year we started doing long distance swimming in pool, up to 4 kilometer or 5 kilometer, and from 0 to 5 kilometers was achievement for us actually.
Right. Wow, this is amazing, beautiful story. And we'll just go to the next slide when you are clubbing all these 3 things together. So when you started swimming, this was in 2017, or when did you start swimming?
Swimming I started 2017 end. and
Okay.
2018 complete I did swimming.
Okay, so in just a matter of so when if I can if I can recall, so you said 2015 you started in July, you started for running, and
Yeah.
by November you did your first half marathon.
Yes.
It's like July, August, September, October, in just 4 months. What dedication, man! So, and you were from 95 kgs, and from there you started running, and you could do a in
Right.
4 months you could do that. I think that and did you go for any VLCC kind of thing, or did it
No,
just
no,
happen through?
no VLCC, nothing, nothing.
Okay,
So
so
it is just a discipline you have to regular, and anyone can do. It's not a
right,
secret.
so
There is no secret
so
actually.
so people who are hearing in the audience, just keep it in, like, just take a note that it is possible, and everything is possible if you really want it to, and just all you have to do is keep the discipline. And in the previous discussion, I think Mohit told that he didn't miss one single session, and he went and practiced and practiced, and there is no substitute for hard work. And
Right.
not only he finished that, like, then he started into cycling, and then when he started anything, he just goes into so much depth that he goes like spirally upwards, like from 50 meters to from 200 meters, 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers, then directly 400 kilometers, man. My goodness. And then he starts swimming. Now look at it, like, I just wonder if he takes mountaineering, probably he will do everything in 1 year, like, whatever I have done. So
No.
when are you coming to mountaineering, Mohit?
So basically now it was the time to club, swimming, cycling, running. Everything was going fine actually. So these were part of daily life. Then a thought came to mind that should I try for Ironman? So basically Ironman, as I told, it's a triathlon in which you do swimming plus cycling plus running, right? And I had already done those distance of Ironman separately. That I had swim more than 4 kilometers, I had cycled 400 kilometers, and I had run more than 50 kilometers. So I thought, can I club all these things together, and can I do Ironman? So that was the challenge actually, and I shared this thought to a friend. And after that, my friend life goal was to motivate me to go to Ironman. He would call me twice a day to make my mind for Ironman. And finally, I registered for Ironman Germany, Hamburg, just 2.5 months before the event. So some people told me that I should not do it. I should plan for next year. It was a suicidal attempt as per them, but I had already made my mind. And after that, I had 2.5 months, and life was hell for next 75 days.
Ooh,
You can go
that's
to next
brilliant.
slide.
One question was there by Shamo. How do you take care of food and hydration during the Ironman exercise?
So basically, if you go to Ironman, right, or in any good triathlon event, so the hydration points are there every 20 kilometers, right? So in Ironman, basically, you don't have to carry even your water bottle also. So they will give you on the way everything you need. Every 20 kilometers,
Okay.
you will find hydration point. So they will give you water, energy drink. So they will give you everything. But it is very important to carry your energy gel with you.
Right. So, but during the practice, what was your diet like, or what was your hydration pattern like?
So in long distance cycling, it is very important to take care of hydration, right? So if you're not taking care of hydration properly, then you will not be able to finish long distance at all. So the thumb rule is you have to finish 1 liter water, 1 liter or at least 750 ml water in 1 hour, right? So that's the rule. And with every 45 minutes, you have to take one energy gel in Ironman. I'm telling you,
Right.
because you have to maintain your stamina. You don't want any cramps to occur in your body, right? So 750 ml water in every hour, and every 45 minutes you have to take one energy gel.
Right. So when you used to go for this long distance practice, were you carrying like 8 liters of water in your bag and then
No.
or? Oh.
I don't carry 8 liter water. I carry basically 2 liter water, and we refill the water at the break points. When we take break for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, then we refill the water. So we choose our break point such that we get water there.
Okay. Brilliant. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, we'll go to the next slide.
For next 2.5 months, my every hour was planned. I had to do so much in exactly 75 days. I started my training, followed a plan by famous athlete Don Fink. So this is another thing which people may be interested to know which plan I followed. So they can Google Don Fink, and there is a very famous book by Don Fink, Be Iron Fit. So I followed that plan which was mentioned in that book. That plan was meant for 30 weeks, but I had only 10 weeks left. So I started with the last 10 weeks of the plan. And that period was very hard. My day used to start at 4 a.m. in the morning, swimming every day, followed by cycling and running as per the plan, and then regular office meetings. Then there was my 7-month-old kid at home. I could not sleep more than 5 hours, which is bad actually. I'm not advising that we should sleep less. In fact, we should sleep at least 8 hours. But at that time, I could not sleep more than 5 hours. And there is a very famous quotation which I found. It says that it is better to sweat in training than bleed in battle. So the training should be harder than actual event. And other than sports, it makes a lot of sense in life also. So during the Ironman training, my weekly average was 10 kilometer swimming, 200 kilometer cycling, and 50 kilometer running. So that was the weekly average.
Right. So a lot of people ask me this question, and I'm also going to ask you the same question to you, that how did you manage work and this?
So I used to wake up 4 a.m. in the morning. By 4:30, I used to go out for swimming. So swimming was daily actually, and followed by swimming, maybe either it is cycling or it is swimming, right? So after swimming, cycling or running was there. So in normal days also, Monday to Friday, I used to practice 4 to 5 hours.
Oh, and so then you used to go late to the office, means your office timing was flexible.
And my office was very actually helpful. It's we have a flexible hour. I used to reach office by 11:30. So sorry, this is not advice. But I was benefited by my office also. They helped me a lot actually. So
awesome.
So 11:30 reaching office was possible only because my office used to support me.
Right. So this is your training week. Wow.
Yeah. So this is just a sample training plan. If anyone is interested, so you can see Monday is a rest day because on Saturday, Sunday you do the most. So in this plan, you can see that on Saturday it says you have to cycle for 6 hours followed by 1 hour of run, and on Sunday it says that 90 minutes of cycling followed by 3 hours of running. So that was kind of the plan. So I just shared one sample plan if maybe people are interested.
So how important is rest?
Rest, as I said, rest is very important actually. So I mentioned that I could not sleep more than 5 hours or maybe 6 hours. But if I had slept around 8 hours, I believe I would have performed much better.
Right.
Good sleep is very important actually. Because my kid was very small. He was only 6-7 months old, so that's why I could not sleep more.
Right. This is Germany.
This is Germany, Hamburg. This is the picture of Alscher Lake. I remember Hamburg with this picture of Alscher Lake because we were supposed to swim here, and thousands of times I had looked at this image of Alscher Lake and made the plans, because swimming in open water was something I was scared of. And it's a very big wide lake, and the swimming in lake has its own challenges. The buoyancy of water is less compared to sea, so you need to do a bit more extra effort to keep you afloat. So this is the lake where we swam.
Right.
These are the picture of the event day, the swimming. So first you go for the swimming, right? The swimming starts at 6:30 in the morning there. So before the swimming started there, I prayed to God that everything should go fine. There is always risk of something unknown during swimming, right? So but what happened is I put my goggles, entered into the water, and soon I realized that the vacuum of my goggles is not good, and water was leaking into my left eye. So water was filling inside my goggles, and I could not see anything from my left eye. But I had a plan that if something like this would happen, then I will swim at least 550 meters and reach to the bridge, which we have to cross. And you can see this bridge in this picture also. Between the trees there is a small bridge, right? So I reached there, I corrected my goggles and started again, and there I was hit by another swimmer. My goggles almost came out. I converted from freestyle to back foot position, again reached to the bank, corrected my goggles, and then I started again. I lost 15 minutes in this, but after that I was able to finish 4 kilometer swimming in 1 hour and 40 minutes.
So Samada has a question: what was the water temperature?
Water temperature was around 22 degrees.
Okay. So is it cold or is it warm, or how do you rate
It was cold. No, it was cold, and it was a wetsuit swimming. Because if you're not wearing the wetsuit, you will have a hypothermia.
Oh, okay, good.
So in this image, you can see everyone has wear the wetsuit. So this
Yes,
black color
yes.
is a wetsuit. So this wetsuit basically maintains your body temperature.
Okay.
So in some countries like Malaysia, if you go for Malaysia Ironman, there the temperature is 25, 26 degrees. So there wetsuit is not allowed, because if you wear the wetsuit there, then you will get dehydrated because of the high temperature.
Okay. So in this, how long does it take for this swimming of 4 kilometers? 4.
1 hour 40 minutes.
Okay. That's super fast.
No,
Yeah.
it's not not super fast, but it was a decent time actually. It was a decent time.
Nice. This is
So after swimming, it was a turn of cycling then. So so after swimming, I went to the transition zone, quickly took some energy drink, bought the helmet, cycling shoes, and I was ready for the next part of cycling, 185 kilometers. There were 2 loops of 92.5 kilometers. In the left side, you can see this bridge, right? So this image is not from Ironman, but I added this image to show you this bridge actually. So you can see
right.
the slope is almost 45 degree, and this bridge filtered out the strong riders with the amateur one, and the slope was almost the slope was very bad. I reached almost to speed of 80 on a bicycle. So I noted I was riding on speed of 80 actually there.
So how many participate in one race?
There were 2,500 people from 75 countries.
And out of this 2,500, how many finishes the Ironman?
I have no, I don't have this number.
But 50% or 10% or like, so
no, I think more than 50%, but I'm not sure, Satya. Honestly, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Because after completing that Ironman, we were so tired. We were almost dead actually. So we did not ask this question.
Nice. And there are a lot of bands. So 28 July 2019, I think this is a great day. You finished 4 loops of 10.5 kilometer running each loop.
Yeah. So after swimming, it was a turn of running 42 kilometer. It was actually 4 loops of 10.5 kilometer. Every loop will give you one band after completing. And once you have collected the 4 bands, I would be allowed to go towards the finish line. So
nice.
So running, I finished in 5 hours and 20 minutes.
Right. Awesome.
So we can go to next.
Wow.
This is the last 1 kilometer. So in the last 1 kilometer, my heart was beating fast, not because of tiredness, but I was only 1 kilometer from the finish line. I collected the flag of India 500 meter before the finish line, wrapped around myself with both hands rising, and I started running towards the finish line arena, and everyone was cheering me up. So I was living those moments in real actually. I thought about those moments thousands of times in my mind, but it was happening in reality. I crossed the finish line. The commentator shouted, "Mohit Mungia from India, you are an Ironman now." And I waited long and worked hard to hear those words. So it was happening in real. Thousands of people on both sides were cheering me up, and I finished the course in 15 hours and 29 minutes.
What a proud moment! What a proud moment for you! What a proud moment for India! Wow. Yeah. So, motivation, good training, good diet, discipline, family support.
Yeah, family support is very important, because they also wake up early in morning 4:30 to make breakfast for you, right? And it needs commitment from your family also, not only from you.
Right. But I definitely, the audience, whoever are watching, just look at the determination, just look at the courage, look at the discipline and the motivation, the self. I think you are a self-motivated guy, and that's something that we all have. We don't need to depend on anyone else, right, for motivation. And what he said is, even the mantra of Ironman is anything is possible. So from a person who was 95 kg overweight guy who never went for this kind of activities, just 4 years, and he was, I think July you started, and July you started training for your running in 2015, right? And July you did your Ironman in 2019, just in a matter of 4 years. What an impossible feat it was.
And I will say anyone can do this. There is no rocket science. There is no nothing. Anyone can do. Whoever is hearing this, I can bet you can do.
I
You just
am
need to be
motivated.
disciplined.
Motivated.
Yes, Satya. So we can do next Ironman together.
Done. So
Done.
can we bring in also Samoda here? Then we can have a quick conversation with all three of us. Samoda,
Hi, Mohit.
Hi, sir.
you have any questions, Samoda?
No, I got my answer actually. What Mohit has said that, and ultimately he has started and he fell in love with it.
Yeah.
He fell in love with it. So that the passion actually drives our viewers here are all they are going to mountains every time and all those things. So it's just out of love, just out of passion. So that's what keeps people driving.
Yes.
And we
So
branch out, we do this thing. So
right.
beautiful. I was just listening to Mohit so intently, and
Sir.
I love success stories.
So Abhishek, just to answer your question, what is the total expenditure for running the Ironman race? See, I can bet Mohit never thought about it when he started running. So
Right.
I can bet someone ever thought about how much will it cost to go to some exotic places when he started scuba diving. So first is just go, if you love it, just immerse yourself into that, get the training, and don't let all other facts and figures put a burden on you, right? So just do what you love, and you will see your roads will open up for you, so I won't ask this question to Mohit, that what is the total expenditure for running the Ironman race, just because because that is something, your end goal. Just like, had I known what is the cost of Mount Everest climbing in the first day, I would have probably like shied away from entire thing, right? So it's sometimes it's good to be ignorant and just love what you do, So Mohit, I had a question for you and to Samoda also, that when you are there, what goes in your mind? Like, when you are cycling and or when you are running that loop there, and Samoda, when you go deep inside, what goes in your mind? I just wanted to decode that. Do you think about your work? Do you think about whether the next client going to come tomorrow or not? Like, what happens?
So I'll tell you one thing. Few days back, I was listening to one of the lady who is very famous underwater videographer actually, Pooja Rathore. I was just listening to her. So it was an interactive session, and she was asked that what do you like about it? What do you like underwater? She said it's calm, it's peace, and you forget everything. You have got one cylinder of oxygen for you, so you control your breath, you enjoy, and that is the best possible way, the only way to be so close to the nature, to the living things. So I don't know. I don't think about anything. I become so engrossed with it. So it's just like that.
Yeah, nice. Mohit, you already said that it is like a like a meditation for you.
Yeah.
What was going through in your mind when you were like, almost near to that 500 meters more, and you will go for the Ironman?
Actually, when I was doing swimming, I was not thinking about anything else. I was not thinking that after swimming I have to cycle and then run. And when I was doing cycling, I was not thinking that I have to run after that. So when I was cycling, I was totally just focusing on my cycling. I was not thinking about anything else.
Right. So, last question to you both. Are you fearless?
No, in adventure sports, fear has to be there, and that makes you cautious. You should be afraid of the risks. All adventure sports. If you are going to mountain, if you are going to, you have been to Everest, so there are risks attached with it. So, but are you afraid? You are taking care of it. So that is my
Right.
answer.
So,
Yeah, I agree.
does
I
this
agree with
fear,
Samir, sir.
does this fear limit you anyway, or do you use this fear in some way?
I never thought about it. It's a adrenaline rush, I'll say. But since there are some, hindrances, not everybody thinking of doing these things, so I can do this. So, and I need to keep myself fit. I have to exercise every day. I cannot do these things. I cannot do that thing. There are restrictions in life, and everything. Because if you have, just for example, if you have got common cough and cold, you go to an exotic destination, you have planned it all for last 3 months, but you cannot dive because that's a total no. If you have common
Right.
cough and you cannot breathe underwater. Simple. So
in
I know
the
that is, I'll take care of it. For last 3 months, I won't be having any cold water. I won't be having any cold drink. No ice. Probably I'll keep the AC down up a little bit and all this. So why should one be afraid? One should be cautious.
awesome. Yeah, Mohit,
Yes, Satya.
the same question.
Sorry, can you repeat your question?
The fear.
Sir?
The fear, like are you fearless?
No, I totally agree with Samya, sir. Fear actually makes you discipline also. So we cannot be totally fearless, right? So fear brings discipline also. Right. Sir?
Nice. So as we're ending this session, one message that you want to give to the audience, that current situation, that is an uncertain situation and it's an extraordinary situation, what would be your message to the people, both of you?
I think now we have to accept that we have to live with this COVID-19. It is not going early, so we cannot say that after 3 weeks or 4 weeks it will go away. We have to live with that. We have to maintain distance with people. We don't know whether the person is it can be a infected person, right? You never know.
Right.
We cannot stop our activities also, right? So I have started going out for rides with total precautions, right? I have started running also again. But I go with mask. So we have to live with this. Yeah, we have to live with this now.
Right. And Shamoda, what would be your message to the? So Mohit, what would be your message to the audience? What would be your message? One message you have to give.
Anything is possible.
Awesome.
Anything is possible.
So, that's brilliant. Shamoda.
Hygiene is very much important. You keep yourself, you take care of yourself so that you can take care of others. That is what what I understand from my doctor friends. They're saying you should be taking care of yourself first. You should wash your hand. You should cover your mouth. And if you are taking care of yourself, only then you can take care of others. You keep social distancing, all this. I'll say whatever you do, regarding, I just said everyone should try scuba diving once in his life, and whatever you do, whatever in life you do, including adventure sports, you should be passionate. There is no easy way out.
There is one. Okay. There is one question, each one for, one for Samyuda and one for Mohit sir. Question asked by Mr. Rahul Chaudhary. Is there any difference between snorkeling and scuba diving? And as you mentioned, severe diabetic people should not take snorkeling. Can someone with moderate diabetes go for snorkeling? This is for Samya sir.
I'll share a secret with you all. First of all, snorkeling is that you don't need artificial oxygen. You need a snorkeler. Actually, your breathing apparatus, breathing pipe is above the water always, and you can hold your water and just go for free diving also. So, but in scuba diving, scuba stands for self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, whereby you are wearing a jacket, you are having some cylinders with you, you are having some regulators, some oxygen gauge and everything, and taking it inside the water, you can stay longer. Say typically from 40 minutes to 1 hour, depending on the depth of the water. That is the first thing. So that is a difference. So you are on the surface as if you are doing snorkeling, and if you are doing scuba diving, you are closer to your desired subjects. And I'm moderately diabetic. So what I do, I have taken my medical release letter from my doctors, and always I produce it with the scuba shots that he's under this medications and he is fit to dive. So if you are diabetic, you can do snorkeling. There is no ban in snorkeling for the diabetic people. But
Right.
if you are diabetic, severely diabetic or moderately diabetic, mildly diabetic, just consult your doctor. Because they will typically give you some medicine. They will say there is chance of hypoglycemia, so they will ask you to have a candy bar, have some chocolate before going for diving, have become more hydrated before going in, because for 1 hour you won't be able to get any water, and trust me, you feel like thirsty sometimes when you are inside the water sometimes.
Right.
So if you are diabetic, better to consult your doctor, take a medical release letter, and he or she will definitely guide you at how you can do these things. I've seen lots of diabetic people. I'm diabetic. I take medication, but I'm doing it for long. In my case, I'm diabetic since my birth, actually. So it's part of my life. I did everything with it.
Yes.
This question for Mohit sir from Abhishek Sindhu. Any difference between Ironman triathlon held in India, Chennai, if I'm not wrong, and the one held on international platform? Considering the fact that in international Ironman event, the registration charges goes up to 50,000 plus other cost. If I'm right, the Indian version is not that costly. Is there any difference between them? I'll be going for this around 3 to 5 years down the line.
So actually, if you see in India, there is no full Ironman still happening in India anywhere officially. Actually, there is one Hyderabad triathlon event there, and in that triathlon, the swimming happens in swimming pool actually. So, and swimming in a swimming pool with 4 feet of water is actually very easy, right? So that's why lot of people go there. Distance is also not like the full Ironman, right? In Goa last year, official half Ironman happened. That was a half Ironman, so you have to do 90. You have to do 2 kilometers swimming, 90 cycling, and 21 running. So no, half Ironman has started happening in India. Still, I think it will take a few years to come the full Ironman coming to India. Yes, there is one Chennai triathlon also. Chennai triathlon, which I think takes around 1,600 or 2,000 rupees. That's it. But again, that is not the full Ironman.
Yeah. So yeah, I think pretty good. So one question is there. What about Tapas sir? Sneha asked. So I had a call with Tapasda while Mohit was speaking, and I was mute. So Tapasda is not able to. His internet connection is very choppy. He could hear only for 2 seconds and it get disconnected. So sorry about that. But we'll, after the lockdown is over, we'll definitely do one session only with Tapasda. Yeah.
Dada, there is a question for you. Navit Rabdar asked, why is mountaineering your favorite? Please say something about it. So I put that question on screen also for you.
I think that is a presupposition. Who said that mountaineering is my favorite? So if mountaineering was favorite, then I would have brought some mountaineers here, and not Shamoda and not Mohit here. So it's about, you have only one life. Explore it the way it is, and don't just put it like, oh, this is only favorite, like, and then you will not explore the other areas. So my invitation to all of you is that see everything with an open mind, because everybody is doing football or everybody is doing cricket, doesn't mean that you have to conform to that, right? Expose yourself to multiple things and then see which one you resonate more, and just be passionate about it. And I think mountains, today it is mountain, tomorrow it can be underwater, day after tomorrow it can be a triathlon. Anything is possible, and I am open to anything and everything. So
and I want to add here, I just want to add one thing, Satya. There is no one who has done Ironman and Mount Everest, right? So next Ironman we can do together, and you'll be the first person to do Ironman and Mount Everest. There is no one who has done it, right?
I hate running, so you have to inspire me, like, or you have to tell me that, how I can improve my running. So I had done a 21 kilometer, that is maximum that I could do. That also in one shot, without any training, without anything. So yeah, I mean, like, so definitely we'll touch base on that, and Shamoda will go together to scuba diving someday, and I am all set for the PADI certification as well. So yeah. Yeah, one question is there from Sandeep Ghosh. Satiru, please share some exciting moments of mountaineering at the end. Well, this is the end, but the whole agenda for this particular session is just to give a glimpse of what different other things are also available when we are talking about exploration, when we are talking about adventure. So mountaineering, I think there have been lot many, even just before the starting of this session, if you go before, you would see amazing pictures of Dipankar Da, and Dipankar Da is no more with us. So I think, again, putting in mountaineering picture doesn't go well. I mean, there are already something better. So our objective is met, and I think this was just the surface level. My invitation to all of you is just expose yourself to different kinds of thing, and definitely contact us, and we three work closely together, and we are having a lot of plans in future. So just keep the space watching, like, keep watching this space, and post COVID, let's do something really big, and let's follow our heart. Right. So thank you everyone. Do you want to have a closing session, the administrators?
Yeah, there is a question for Mohit sir. Mohit sir, please, your current body weight, please.
It is 68. 68. I maintain strictly at 68. I don't allow to go up, and I don't allow to go below also.
Right. So we already got a candidate for Ironman, Sandeep Nanda from Bangalore. His dream is to do an Ironman. He runs a lot, but I think, yes, Mohit, you should start a session, like, and especially in this lockdown and all, like, we can have a virtual sessions and prepare us at least for, if not the full Ironman, maybe a small baby step, and we'll all be happy to be part of that. All right. So thank you for your time, and thank you, Shamoda, thank you, Mohit, and thank you, the organizers. It was an amazing time you have given to me and for the audience. Thank you.
Thanks, Satya. Thanks, Amir.
It's really a very wonderful session. Your total view and the total thing is, we are not only motivated for the mountaineering or any adventurous activity. I, being a professional in a different level, I mean, mountaineering and other activity is a hobby for me. But you motivate me for your inspiration. I'm motivated in my professional life also, because nothing is impossible. It can be done at any point of time. So it's really very motivational session for we people, and we are looking forward for you in our near future if we get another opportunity to meet with you again. So thank you very much once again.
And
thank you very much.
One line I want to add. Shamoda, born diabetic. Mohit, from 95 kg. Me, with asthmatic background. If we all could do all these things that we have done, you guys are very lucky that you have everything. So just follow your heart, and you can, like, do crazy stuff, like, and if we can do it, definitely everyone can do it. Right.
I would add one more thing. In 2017, we went for a bike expedition from Kolkata to Daringbari, and I met with an accident, and I broke my collarbone. And again this year, we are planning for a bike expedition. So somewhere in Ladakh, or maybe in Arunachal Pradesh. So it's a truly motivational for me. After reading your total biography, I was really very much motivated, and thank you very much for sharing your experience and everything. So thank you very much. You are truly inspirational.
Thank you. Good night. Yeah.
Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Thanks. Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye. Good night.
तो ये थे हमारे आज के सेशन के लिए। मैं सभी ऑडियंस से बताना चाहता हूँ कि हमारे एक सेशन के स्टार्टिंग में हमने एक मिस्टर दीपंकर घोष के लिए कुछ सेशन रखा था, जहाँ पे हमारे एक वेस्ट बंगाल माउंटेनियर एंड ट्रेकर्स कॉन्फेडरेशन के सेक्रेटरी साहब थे, प्रशांत मंडल जी। उनका कुछ मैसेज बाकी रह गया था क्योंकि हमारे टाइम कॉन्स्टेंट के कारण, तो उन्होंने एक मैसेज भेजा है जो मैं आप लोगों के लिए चलाना चाहूँगा। तो उनका मैसेज मैं अभी प्ले करता हूँ। उन्होंने भेजा है मेरे पास में व्हाट्सएप में, तो आई वुड लाइक टू प्ले। तो दिस इज प्रशांत खेदा।
যে কথাটা তখন বলছিলাম, সেই ধোলাখেরি অভিযানের কথা প্রত্যেকটা পর্বতপ্রেমী বাঙালি অক্ষরে অক্ষরে জানে। আর একজন পর্বতারোহীর জীবন বাঁচাতে গিয়ে তাকে হারাতে হয়েছিল হাতের আঙুলগুলো, তবে তার জন্য তার কোনো ক্ষোভ ছিল না। আর এর পরেও কিন্তু সে পর্বত অভিযান থেকে পিছিয়ে যায়নি। তারপরেও সে জয়ু, মানাসলু এবং শেষমেশ মাকালুর মতো অভিযানেও গিয়েছে। আর একটা কথা যেটা বলতে খুব ইচ্ছে করছে, যে 2011 সালে এভারেস্ট অভিযান থেকে ফিরে ও একদিন হঠাৎ আমায় বলে যে এই আরেকটা অভিযানে যাচ্ছি, আরেকটা এক্সপিডিশনে যাচ্ছি। তো আমি ওকে বললাম, এই তো এভারেস্ট থেকে ফিরলে, এখনো বোধহয় মাস দুয়েক হয়নি, আবার অভিযানে? কোথায় যাচ্ছ? বললো মনিরাঙে। আমি একটু তাচ্ছিল্যের সুরে বলেছিলাম, এভারেস্টের পরে মনিরাং? বললো, দেখো, এই এভারেস্ট করে ক্লাবের এক্সপিডিশনটা বন্ধ হয়েছিল, না গেলেই নয়, তাই যেতেই হচ্ছে। একজন কত বড় মাপের মানুষ হলে তবে এভারেস্ট অভিযানের পরেও মনিরাগের মতো একটা সাধারণ শিখর অভিযানে শুধু ক্লাবের মুখ চেয়ে বেরোতে পারে, এটা ভাবলে তার প্রতি শ্রদ্ধা
তিনি ছিলেন প্রশান্ত মন্ডলজি। কালকে আমাদের অনুষ্ঠানটা চালু হবে। আমি কালকে ডিটেলটা শেয়ার করে দিই। কালকে আমাদের সাথে থাকবেন দ্য ফেমাস মাউন্টেনিয়ার মিস্টার দেবব্রত মুখার্জি। কালকে ওনার প্রোগ্রামটা চালু হবে বিকেলবেলা 6টার সময়, 6 PM sharp, Uja Tirche, a peak far away. Don't forget to join us tomorrow at 6 PM. Thank you very much.